Harsh, and welcome to the comprehensive guide on make.com functions. It's like over the last 2 years, I have relied on make.com to automate various aspect of my work, and then I have optimized the operations side of things using the make.com, and it's been instrumental in generating significant revenue for myself and for the companies that I have worked with in the last 2 years in the automation side. Now, again, in this video, I will provide a detailed walkthrough of the functions available on the make.com, starting from the basics and moving to more complex operations as well. So yeah, let's start with the video. Okay, so now first of all, just head over to the make.com and click on the create new scenario. So after that, click on this plus button, and we will first we'll set a variable for this one, right? Yeah. So basically, the first function, let me name it playground, right? And then the first category of the functions that we are going to explore is text and binary functions. Again, in that, the first function is length. So basically, length is like the understanding the size of your data, right? And then it is like very crucial function, right? So let me show you. So for example, let's say if you put Harsh, or if you put any text or anything into the length function, it will then return the size of that particular text, right? So see, five. So like hers has a 5 characters in it, right? So now again, and understanding the size of your data is like very crucial for efficient data management, right? So now with that length function, you can basically determine the length of the string and arrays, and this is like very essential for optimizing data handling and storage, right? So for instance, when dealing with customers information, knowing the exact size of each data set allows you to basically allocate the right amount of storage and preventing waste and improving speed, right? So this is how the length function is useful. Now the next function is basically the lower, right? Again, this will basically what it will do. It will basically make all the letters in lowercase. So for example, let's say if I put hello in uppercase, and if I run this one, then it will put everything. It will turn everything into the lowercase. Again, this is also like very important, right? And then this is the go-to function for formatting anything that come across, right? It makes sure that names and titles appear polished, which is like basically helps in making good impressions, also like maintaining the professionalism in the communication side of thing, right? So yeah, now the next one is in the list is capitalize. Again, the name suggests it makes the first letter of your word capitalize up in an uppercase. So let's say, for example, if you put Harsh. Now, if you can see, all the letters are in lowercase. And if I save it and then run it, it turned first letter of the word in uppercase, right? So basically, this is very important when like you have to maintain the professionalism in your communication. And let's say if you are doing email outreach, or if you're like writing a long email or writing an email to your client, right? Now again, this is very important where you say like, hey, first name. Now let's say if you're using a third party tools or APIs where like the formatting is not that great, so in that case you can use this function to make it seems professional to your client, to your prospect, right? So yeah, again, these are this text and binary functions are most frequently used functions. I use it most frequently and in my workflow, basically not all of them. Again, some of them, tell you that as well. The next one is start case, right? Again, what it will do is it will basically turn a first letter of each word into uppercase, right? So let's say if I put hello, my name is Harsh. Now what it will do is it will basically turn HMN. So it will pick first letter from each word and then turn that into an uppercase from the lowercase, right? So now if I run this, if you can see, hello, my name is Harsh. Again, this is quite useful. Let's say, for example, if you have a first name and last name, and you want to send that, or you want to like send an email to that person using that first and last name, and then for some reason you are getting that first and last name in the lower case. So in that case, you can use this start case, and then you can turn the first letter of the first and the last name to a capital letter, and then that's how you can basically utilize this function. The next one is ASCII. Again, this is quite I rarely use this, but again, there are a couple of instances where I have to use this because as you know, like if someone you are dealing with in like Germany or French, they have this kind of a characters in their name, and then again, some APIs or some systems that are not accepting this sort of a naming system or convention. So for that, we have to convert that into a very digestible name, right? So let me first look at hers in French. Okay, so this is quite okay. So now, as you can see, this one my name is like in has a non-standard characters. So basically what this function does is like it convert the non-standard name or the letters into the standard letters that can be acceptable by all the system, all the API, third party APIs and everything. So now let's save it and run this one. And you can see it actually. So now again, one more thing here. If you don't put it true, so it will remove that non-standard character, right? And if you, let's say, put true, and if you run it now, it will then keep that non-standard character again. Now as you can see, like S and H is like in capital the uppercase, and then the H is in lowercase. So for that, what you can do, you can basically capitalize the start case. You can use the start case, and yeah, and then that way you can make it more professional, right? As you can see, so that's how you can also like use multiple function, each function with each other, right? You can basically, this is called nested function, where like you're using the second function under the first function, right? So now the next one is replace. Basically this is very simple and then straightforward. So basically, as the name suggests, it replaces the search string with the new string, right? So let's say for example here, my name is Harsh. Now let's say for example, if I want to replace Harsh, so I'll add the string that I want to replace here. So I want to replace Harsh, and I want to replace that with, let's say, Vikash, right? So now this the output will be my name is Vikash. See, so basically this is very important, and also like this is quite useful, I would say. Now, again, why? So, like, let's say, for example, if you want to update in domain, or like if you want to change the part of a string for a clear presentation in your meeting, you can use this function, and then you can make it more readable, make it more clear to the person that you want to present to, right? So that's how this particular function will be useful. Then there is a trim function. This is very useful, and I use it quite often. I use it more often because what it does actually is basically, let's say for example, if you have basically white space at the start and the end of the string or the text, so basically what it will do, it will then remove everything. Let's say Harsh, right? Again, now let's say my name is like this, right? And then now I want to basically remove all of these white spaces, right? At the beginning and at the end of the string, I just use you just have to use this trim function, save it, and if you run it, it removes everything. It removes all the white spaces from the beginning and the end of the string. Excuse me. Okay. And now the next function is upper, basically the opposite of basically the lower, right? So it basically turned everything into the uppercase, or all the letters into the uppercase. For example, if I write like this, Harsh, and yeah, and this is quite useful in some situations where like you want to highlight something, where you want to like put emphasize on certain words which are like very important, and you want other person to look at that very carefully and attentively. Then in that case you can use this function. Again, not that useful in my opinion, but yeah, still you can use that. Then we have a substring. Again, this is very interesting, right? So let's say for example, what it does is, it basically, let's say if you put Harsh in the string, and then now you only want to return a particular part of the string or the text, right? Let's say you only want to return ARS, not the whole word. What you can do, you basically put starting and the ending position, and in between that everything will be in between whatever it is there, it will return that, right? So basically, let's say I put 1 and 4, sorry, not here, here 4. So now I'll get, I think, ARS, hopefully. Yes. Now why, so let's take another example of this. mm, let's say HTTP, or no, let's say there's a website domain, the URL of the website, which is like google.com. Q is equal to, let's say, ABC, right? And now I just want to basically get this query, nothing else. I don't want this part of URL, right? So what I can do, basically, I can yes, what I can do, again. Hmm. Yep. So now I can count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this is 18, and I can use length function. basically, and in that I can put the whole URL, right? So which is like going to be the ending point of the URL, right? So now if we look at that, let me close that bracket. And now if we just look at it, you will see we got q is equal to, okay, question mark also we got. So now let's make it 19, and let's look at that. So now we got only query is equal to ABC. So this is quite useful, right? In cases where like you are actually scraping the whole website, and then when and you only want a certain part of the string, right? So this is quite useful in those cases. Yeah. So now let's look at another function, which is the index of, right? So now let's say what it does is basically it returns the position of the first occurrence of the specified value, right, in the string. So basically, okay. So now let's say Harsh is here, and if I want to, let's say, H, okay, and then two. So now basically now what will it will do is it will basically I told this particular function to, hey, get me the position of the H. Now but again not just any H, but again H which is like after the position two, right? Which is like after the A. So now what's the position of this H, which is like 1 2 3 4 5. So I guess the output will be 5 or 4 basically. So it will count as like 0 1 2 3 4. So it starts with the 0, not the 1, and if it starts with 0 0 1 2 3 4. Now let's say if I put A and 0, so basically it will output as a 1, right? Yes. So basically, let's say I now you're telling that, okay, hey, I want to get a position of letter A, which is like after the zeroth position, right? Zero after zeros means after the H. So now the position is 0 1, so the output will be 1, right? Now let's look at the first another next function, which is like the two binary, two string. Again, these functions are like not that useful, and then not you're not going to use these functions in your make.com journey at all. But again, for this video purpose, let me show you this, right? So now if you write anything, my name is Earth, so basically it will return the binary data for that, which is like quite not readable. It is like basically encoding all of those data, right? Then the two string. So what it does, let's say 74, right? If I run this one, it basically quite opposite of two binary. Yeah. Okay. The next function is encode URL. So basically this is quite really useful, right? So let's say for example my name is, okay, no, not this one, SEO for LLMs, right? Now again, what it will do, let's look at the practical one. So it turned that URL into the encoded URL, which is like you can use it in your website web address, right? Website address, right? Now the next function this is quite useful in some cases where like you want to do a programmatic SEO, and then you want to map all the URLs automatically at scale. In that case, this is quite useful. The next one is like the exactly opposite of encode URL, where let's say if you put SEO percentage 20 for percentage 20 LLMs. Now it will then decode this URL and then make it readable SEO for LLMs, right? This is really useful in my opinion. Where like you're scraping all of the website or the URLs, and then you want to have clean version of the URL. In that case, you can use this formula. Escape HTML means it is like converting the HTML into text basically, right? So let's say if you put B and hello, B means bold, right? And let's close the. Now if you're like working on make.com, make sure that you have a decent understanding of HTML and CSS so that you can work efficiently with make.com. Again, this is what I always recommend to everyone who is like working with make.com. So this is the text version of that block or the HTML tag, right? Again, in some other videos you will understand it in a very depth, so that you have a clear understanding of how the tags and everything is working in make.com. Then escape markdown. So basically here exactly the same thing, but again, instead of greater than smaller than greater than tag, we'll use has, right, hashtag. Then strip HTML. So basically what it does is, let's say, to convert any HTML into the normal text, and then it removes all the HTML text from the text basically. So let's say hello, and then now if we run this one, it removes those tags, and then it gives you the cleaner version of the version of that, right? The next function is contains, basically the same thing, where like you what exactly, let's say if you have a string or the text from which you want to find a particular text, from which you want to check that if the hello or the xyz text is containing that string or not. If it If yes, it contains that word, this will pass true. If not, this will pass false, right? And then based on that, you can then you can like create another workflow. The route, you can create a router based on the true and false, and then you can move it further. You can move your workflow further accordingly, right? So that's a contain. Then split. Again, this is one of the most useful function, and I use it a lot of time. When I say a lot of, like in almost every scenario, I use it wherever like I have to basically split text or using separators or everything, right? So let's say, hey, how are you? Right now, let's say here I want to separate it by comma. So now if I run this, it create then two objects. For first one is like hey, and the second one is how are you. And now you can use both of them separately in your moving in your further workflow, and then this is quite useful. And then I'll show you in future how you would use all of these function in real time applications, right? Right now I'm just trying to give you the basics of all of these functions, right? And then after that, all of these are like the encoded version of the text or the text, right, where like it is encrypting all the text so that it will so that it can be secure, right? So let's say if you want to store a password, or if you want to store a sensitive information, so basically then you can use this MD5 SHA 256. Basically MD5 is the lowest, it's the weakest. Is stronger than MD5. 256 is stronger than 1. 512 is stronger than 256, and then so on and so forth, right? So that's how you can basically, that's all about the text and the binary function. Now, next we will look at the date and time function. So yeah, first of all, if you have watched this video, okay, hey, first of all, if you have watched this video up till this point, congratulations, you are a great learner. You are very serious about your career in AI and automation. So basically, if you find anything valuable that helps you in your automation journey, hit the like button below, share this video, and subscribe to this channel, so that I can reach to more people who are like interested in learning or more about AI and automation and everything. And also in future, if you want to receive a notification about such videos, please hit that bell icon so that you can get a notification every time I post a new video on YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much again for watching this video entirely. I will see you in next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.